So we've arrived in Linton Bay area. Not exactly a bustling city, but for us, after spending 6 months in the peace and quiet of Guna Yala, it felt a bit chaotic, and some parts borderline too much. We came to Linton mostly because of public transport connection to Panama City, where we needed to pick up our brand new and shiny residency cards. But first things first, we replenished our coffee supplies and got rid of half a year of trash, as in the islands there is no real option to get rid of it other than burning. And as much as we are fine with burning the cardboard and paper, the other stuff, especially plastic, not so much. We also visited our friend's boat to admire the view and try to help fix some electrical issues with his autopilot. It seemed to help, but as a backup, we were able to convince him to get the parts for the DIY version to try it out.
So you have like a pins, cables with the
The connector.
yes, with the connectors, and I don't know how they are called. I think it's not pogo cables, Arduino wiring cable, something. Two relays. Two relays in the H bridge configuration are becoming a forward, reverse, and stop component. Man, four of this.
Then the day of our appointment in the city came, and to get there, we got on the first very early morning bus. The rides on the Diablo Rojo buses are always an adventure, and for the record, it's not my shaky hands, it's the bus's suspension. These buses are many things, but most of the time, slow is not one of them. So by the time the sun got up, we were halfway to Sabanitas. We didn't film much, as we still feel awkward filming in public places, especially government buildings, but everything went well, and we both got what I call a Panama Pass.
Lulu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass,
After recovering from the city trip, we took care of some small projects, like disassembling some old electronics. For some reason, the word spread around, and people bring us a lot of broken ones that they don't know what to do with, and usually we are unable to say no. So we keep them to scavenge them for parts, like resistors, MOSFETs, connectors, cables, screws, and such. By now, though, we realize that they quickly take up a lot of space. That's why I tried to do a kind of triage by taking them apart and keeping only the stuff we can use. The rest, like plastic housings and broken LCDs, we get rid of. The rainy season was still in full swing, so while stuck inside, I decided to spiff up our pillowcases. I know, thrilling stuff, isn't it? But I think they look nice, and let's face it, black is way more practical on a boat. Some editing also got done. Finally, G got all the parts and it was time to put them all together.
Don't forget the sand. Because this was
The idea behind the whole oiyshTerminal project, including the autopilot part, is not only to provide a cheap alternative, but that by putting it together, its owner also understands how the parts are connected, so they can at least troubleshoot and fix it if any problems arise. So, G got a crash course.
Minus, this is the minus, you see, from the battery, and the plus from the battery, it's nothing. But between the minus and both of those is closed, yes, you see, and also those two are closed because they are going to the motor, you see, they are going to the motor. So switch, fuse maybe, and you see where is the plus, where is the minus,
no,
and motor don't have a plus or minus.
No, exactly.
While the soldering iron was out, a broken solar lamp also got resurrected.
You didn't know? Look. Sorry, like this.
Yes.
This,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one like that.
Yeah. I
That's
will.
right, yeah.
I will see.
Now back to the autopilot. All cables nicely labeled. Then a bit of fiddling with the potentiometer on the DC to DC converter to adjust the voltage.
Now it's add. Now it's minus.
First tests using Oiysh's phone/server showed everything was working just fine. For a DIY spider-like construction, I think the form factor is pretty compact. And then for the final tests with everything installed on G's phone. Unfortunately, that's where the project ended, as well, life got in the way, and he had other stuff he needed to focus on. Still, life was good. We had our papers, spent time hanging out with friends, and eating good food, partially boat grown. Like this one, which was a joint venture with G, who brought the fancy cream cheese. First, the onions, garlic, and olives were fried. Then the veggie chunks and spinach were added. And lastly, the cream cheese, herbs and spices. Put on top of rice and garnished a bit with chives. All that we needed now was a second run to Panama City to resupply before what we thought would be a prompt return to San Blas. There was a bit of traffic on the way, but at the end I managed to acquire enough essential proteins, carbohydrates, fats and other nutrients to sustain our vital processes and furnish energy for at least 6 months. For the task of putting it all away, I always wanted to test out this old YouTube trick. Turns out, you first need to learn how to snap your fingers on demand. Well, it did work eventually, except where did the cat come from? Well, it turned out we wouldn't be heading to San Blas yet. Our friend asked us if we could take care of his boat and pets for a month or two, and we said yes. So we tied to Drago and took care of these two beasts, so you'll see a bit of them in the upcoming videos. It wasn't entirely selfless on our part though. First, our Hakido died on us. Again. So to perform yet another resurrection, we needed to order and wait for some parts. We are seriously thinking about renaming it Phoenix. Second, the most thunderstormy part of the rainy season was upon us, and we decided it's better to spend it surrounded by the mountains than in the relatively flat area of the Guna Yala Islands. So, we would stay in Linton for now and take care of some projects, but more about them next time.